Hello everybody, Clive5 here bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time a matchup between MeLo, the red Zerg in the bottom right hand corner, versus pRoTimber, the blue Terran in the top left hand corner. The map of course is Shakuras Plateau. Y'all are well familiar with this map, I'm sure, at this point. And, well, what can I say about these players? Nothing, because I have absolutely no freaking clue. Just another replay I found on drop.sc. So we'll see what it brings. Definitely, I should just say that if you're interested in watching how other players play in, real scenarios, it's a good site to go and just, download a bunch of ladder games, and you can pick out certain matchups. If you're a Terran player, your PvZ is struggling, for example, just pick out. Use a filter to find PvZ and pull out. Use a filter to pull out some Grandmasters games, or maybe just in your league you want to find out how are players doing that are just slightly better than you. What are they? What sort of strategies are they doing? Because the strategies do vary a lot by league. So I do encourage you to use replays to your advantage to help you grow in your own strategies. Also, another thing that I like to do is go to Wikipedia and just read what the standard strategies are. That helps me out a lot, especially, well, I think I mentioned that I'm switching to Protoss, and I haven't really had a chance to do this yet, but the first thing I do when I start learning a new race is I go and I just read all the strategies, and then I create a Visio flowchart, which I know sounds a little bit nerdy, but I sort of create a spectrum of more economic builds to more aggressive builds, and try to put them all onto a single page and point their transitions to, if you start with this sort of build and transit to something that's a little bit more aggressive, you move the boxes wherever they need to be on that spectrum of economic to aggressive, and then you just sort of get to learn how to cater your own builds to be more responsive to what your opponent is doing. So anyway, that's what I use, and I'm not that great of a player, but well, back in the Brood War days, Fusion, and he might not be too happy that I'm sharing this, but Fusion, who is now, well, he was in Masters, but now he's back in Diamond after one of the newer seasons began. Oh, a little bit of a bunker, trying to go down there. I don't know if it's going to make it. I don't even think there are Reapers. Yeah, there's Reapers on the way, but I don't... Well, I don't know. These drones should be attacking the SV, and I'm not sure why they aren't, but we'll see. And this first Reaper is out, but I just don't know. I don't think it's gonna... Yeah, it does get cancelled there. So, and that SCV dies. So now these Reapers are pretty much useless. I hope he cancels that second one. No, not gonna cancel that second one. Maybe he's gonna still try to use those Reapers to harass a little bit, which isn't completely pointless, but just Reapers on their own, not the greatest. So we are seeing a command center and a factory going down. So anyway, back to what I was saying is, when I was still playing Brood War, and, well, I guess they're not completely ineffective, but that Queen's going to be able to chase it off. So back when I was playing Brood War against Fusion, who is a pretty strong player, he would just not play anything other than Protoss. And, I wanted to play all the other races, and so I would create these flowcharts for myself and use them to create builds, and I just practice and practice and practice against his Protoss, and eventually I got to the point where I could beat him every once in a while, and granted he is mostly a better player than I am. That was sort of my benchmark. I think he got to, well, granted D+ on IC Cup is not the greatest, but still, it's tough. People who are playing IC Cup at near the end of Brood War, those people were insane. So, yeah. I mean, I'd say getting to a D+ is fairly commendable, and he'd only been playing for maybe a year by that point. So anyway, that's just my tip of the day. If you can create any sort of tool to help you with your builds, and well, yeah, I just recommend that. I'd have one for each matchup, so if I was... Well, usually I only played against Protoss because I didn't really like playing on Icy Cup a whole lot. So I'd just have one per matchup, and that helped out a lot. So we are seeing 4 racks now, a single factory with a Hellion. Wondering if we're going to see any sort of a Hellion drop eventually coming down. I know that's been something very annoying for Zerg players. Don't see a starport yet, and I don't even see, honestly, I wonder if he's going to switch this for a tech lab or something and get that pre-igniter upgrade. But so far, very safe build from pRoTimber. And honestly, I don't know what MeLo's going for either. It just doesn't have a whole lot out. It looks like he's mostly teching up, going for both the Lair and the Roach Warren. But neither player deciding to make a move, not even getting aggressive and poking in just to see what the other player has. Granted, pRoTimber was using those Reapers a little while back, not to a whole lot of success. Does look like pRoTimber might get ready to move out here. It's not going to be scouted by MeLo until all these units are right up in either the second, or if they happen to scout this third base, which it doesn't really look like they are going to, but that would be absolutely devastating at this point. Well, granted, I guess he could just cancel the whatever. Stim is now complete as well. I should have had that production tab up, and wow, this is a absolutely devastating attack. Hellion's going to go do their own thing and try to get some worker kills if they can. And MeLo doing the right thing by not running those drones. You've heard me shout so many times how devastating it can be to run those drones away, and now actually everything does get cleaned up pretty well. So MeLo did have a bunch of roaches that came out at just the right time. More roaches on the way now, and MeLo has nothing. Just this small little roving band of Marauders and Hellions, and as you know, Hellions do not do so great against Roaches. Oh, Roaches might be able to catch up with these Marauders, and Marauders definitely need to get back where they are a little bit safer here, and yikes. It's not looking too well. No. Okay, well. Interesting. Okay, so by not waiting for the rest of his troops, well, neither player really has enough to get a decisive blow at this point, because by the time their small army gets over to the other side of the map, their opponent has enough troops to outnumber them. However, the real story here is that MeLo is now going to start mining from this third base, where pRoTimber is still concentrating on trying to get a ooh, looks like it's going to get scouted too. Still working on getting just sort of a battle-ready force together here. And these Hellions aren't going to do a whole lot on their own just because there weren't very many drones available from Pickens. And these guys are all kind of weak. There was a medevac on the way. I'm wondering if they're going to try to lift the Hellions, which are incredibly weak, into the elevator them into the base of MeLo, but I don't know if that's going to be. I think they just need more the healing support from that medevac more than anything else. Roaches, though, they easily outnumber this force. They're deciding to pull back and wait to fight another day. I do have to say, though, that MeLo looks to be in a stronger place at this point. Yeah, pRoTimber really needs to get onto another base. Yeah, and the income tab here really shows the difference here. Building more infrastructure, though, really, instead of building that barracks, really should. Another command center. Yeah, you really don't want to hit that 15-minute mark and not have a third. Unless you're going for some crazy all-in strategy, which, no. MeLo looks to be fairly well fortified here at both of these bases. So unless pRoTimber is going for any sort of a drop strategy, which wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, honestly. Looks like he's going to try to pick off this third again. And looks like the command center is now finally going down. And here comes perhaps an attack to stim, but it's not in a great position. Those forces are going to get flanked from the other side, and I don't see any way out of this for pRoTimber. There are just too many roaches. Nice pickup there from pRoTimber. And might be moving in for a drop here, but in the meantime, these roaches are moving in to counter. I don't know if there's enough here at pRoTimber's main to prevent against that. There is a siege tank with siege at this point, but it's moving out a bit too far. Might get picked off. If these roaches make it up into the main, that could be trouble. pRoTimber just deciding that these SCVs are not worth it. No, deciding that the SCVs are worth it, trying to let them into the base, using them as a blockade to keep those roaches out of the main, letting the siege tank do the work, and it is doing a nice job. In the meantime, well, almost able to take down that hive, and so I guess that is, well, more than I thought was going to happen there, honestly. More roaches streaming across the map, though, and just a long, long, long stream of roaches. Even a queen coming to join the fight, maybe. And yikes, if those roaches can get up there and focus down that tank, and yikes, that is huge. All the roaches do go down. Oh, there is a second tank there. I didn't catch that before, so... does look like pRoTimber's rather well fortified. He really needs to move out that third. He has it selected. No, not going to do anything with that. Morphing into a orbital, so he's getting ready to move it out, but in the meantime, MeLo getting ready for a third. Almost mined out of his main. Doing well at his natural, and of course barely scratching the surface there. Whereas pRoTimber, wow, his worker count is low. Wow, he lost way more SCVs in that initial, or in that roach blockade than I thought he did. So it might be in his advantage to just keep this additional command center, orbital command rather, wow, back in the main, producing a lot more SCVs. Not even doing that though. He is going to move out. Oh, float it down into this protected area. That's smart. And MeLo isn't here ready to scout it. Looks like pRoTimber's going to try to move out, elevator in, and finish off his hatchery. Not a bad idea, but it looks like it's going to get scouted, and they pick up. Now can MeLo get back in enough time to save this hive? I don't think it's going to happen. Roaches trying to stream in. All they need to do is take down the hive and probably get out of there, because if pRoTimber loses all this, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Not focusing the hive. He should be focusing the hive right now. Oh, now turning his attention to the hive, loading up and getting the hell out of there, which he needs to do. Oh, just... Oh, and don't lose that dropship. Don't lose that dropship. Gonna move up to the third here. Roach is ready to intercept. I don't think there's much. Oh, and a fake out. Actually dropping back at the second, but MeLo has roaches there to stop that. Roaches are just everywhere. I don't think pRoTimber can really do a whole lot about that. And dropping on the low ground is not going to help out a whole lot either. Nice, another little force here starting to accumulate. So pRoTimber, though he's behind economically, doing a good job keeping MeLo's forces split up amongst his many bases. Now trying to get caught back up with getting back to a lair and then a hatchery. So I guess really what would be nice to see is, since he doesn't even have a lair at this point, can't produce overseers. I don't think there are any overseers out on the map. If he had followed that up with, like, say, a cloaked banshee or something, that might have been a nice strategy to use, but I don't know if that's going to happen, honestly. Just keeping these dropships here for another sneak attack, perhaps, at another time. But wow, in the meantime, MeLo's force is just continuing to accumulate. Actually, pRoTimber has the upper hand in terms of army size, which honestly surprises me. So he's been doing a great job of just maintaining these troops in these dropships, keep them alive to fight another fight. Another base going down for MeLo. And hey, this 12 o'clock base does finally get scouted by MeLo. Not a whole lot that he can do about it yet at this point in time. And, oh man, this expansion is going to go, probably will get canceled. It didn't get canceled. Wow. That's an unnecessary loss of minerals. Wow, large army trying to move in, trying to get in range of those tanks. Are they going to do it without taking too much damage? These stimmed Marines and Marauders are doing a ton. Roach is not focusing the tanks at all. And wow, that is going to get cleaned up. And look at the big difference now in army size. That is incredible. And MeLo not too happy. Only Zerg. What does that mean? Only Zerg? He's going to lose this third as well. Definitely going to go down. You're the worst player to ever beat me. You're actually the only player to ever beat me. Wow, MeLo is a little bit cocky, doesn't GG. Just quits. That's some quality QQing right there. How about that? I didn't see it coming, because honestly, pRoTimber just stayed on 2 bases for way too long. Wasn't even mining from this third yet, so there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.